Hey, what is going on, gamers? Today we're playing some good old-fashioned Esper Control with the goal of making your opponent feel bad about everything. So we have some cheap interaction over here with both the black and the white march. This one deals damage to creatures or planeswalkers and you gain life. This one exiles any uh, artifact, creature, or enchantment. Both pretty versatile removal. Can be efficient, can be a little overpriced, but the versatility makes up for it, and gaining life off the march is very important sometimes. Exiling things is very important sometimes, like you can exile the Kami of Transience, and then they don't keep getting it from the graveyard. Also, this just being able to hit artifacts and enchantments is phenomenal. This being able to hit planeswalkers, just that's all your problem permanence right there. We love it. Vanishing Verse is it's another subset of things and is usually cheaper if it's something really important, so we've got some of those as well. We have some of the most annoying and most powerful card advantage in Standard at the moment with Memory Deluge and a fan favorite, Siphon Insight. Lets you draw cards off the opponent's deck and flash it back, and of course is the best card to play with Hellbreaker Horror, which we have here in the top end, along with some Kotosei, which is a new card worth going over. So 5 mana 4/4, enters the battlefield, exile a target card other than a basic land card from an opponent's graveyard. Then you search their graveyard, hand, and library for cards that aren't with the same name as that, so you exile all of them from your opponent's deck. Then as long as you control this creature, you can cast one of the exiled cards, or play technically, because you can get a non-basic land. Don't generally want to, but yes, you play one of the exiled cards, and then the others all just stay exiled, and you can use any color of mana to do that. So very good for taking your opponent's most obnoxious card that you don't want to deal with anymore, and then get to use it to your advantage if you somehow manage to untap with Kotosei and do that. Doesn't happen terribly often that you actually get to cast it, but this just being a 4/4 that takes out their best card is often pretty solid. And we've got some nice value engines here with the Professor has been really overperforming lately, so we've got 4 copies here. Sideboard, of course, for best of 1. Have all the lessons, and some Sorens and Wandering Emperors, which we've seen plenty of. And 7 Sweepers over here, some Doomscars to kill all the creatures, some Meat Hooks to gain life from killing all the creatures, and some Farewells for hitting those artifacts and enchantments as well, and the exile effect, as mentioned earlier, being very strong. We've got a couple creature lands, we've got one Eganjo and one Takanuma. We have a reasonable number of high-impact creatures and planeswalkers, so sometimes getting one of those back with this is solid. And yeah, that is the deck. Let's go try it out. Yeah, it's just fine. On the play, start with the Professor, have Sweepers and more threats. Against some sort of Izzet. Be a gold spam pile, could be mill. That's most of what I've seen lately. Grixis. Not seen any of that lately. Could be anything. Other plays here. Let's just get our second white source. Get some damage in. Behold. That's the move of a player who needs land this turn. And discard hand size, very nice. Can hide our blue cards for the moment. Do I want to risk the Wanderer getting countered, or do I just play it now? I think I can just play it now. There's a token. Opponent ramps with a Celestis, not terribly scary. Siphon Insight, very nice pickup for us here. Spark counters on the thing with higher toughness to see if we can get out of a Meat Hook range.
This fight.
Infernal Grasp my token, sure. Still get 2 damage. And I think we're just passing with Insight up here. Probably should have done it on my turn to stop them from doing this. Forgot about that. 3 black lands, 1 storm-carved coast. Very curious as to what they're up to here. they playing Grixis with, like, Invoke Despair or something? Yes, they literally are. Good call. Well, don't really want this. If we cast it, it goes back to their graveyard. Removal seems fine here. They get to kill my Planeswalker and my creature and draw a card. It's rough. Let's see, we still have a basic left. Or we could Kato's. Take their Invoke Despairs. That seems pretty good. And if they don't kill Kato's next turn, we get to do it to them, and they don't get to do it to us anymore. Also, discard 2 cards. Love it. Kato's does not say they get anything for the ones removed from hand. Beautiful. So they can march to kill Kato's here, which they should do. Bloodchief's Thirst, yeah, whatever. Still took out their biggest threat. Power Word Kill can deal with the Hullbreaker just fine. Can just get Sorin down here. Or we could Professor into Sciences. They don't really have counter spells at the moment. I should have looked for that when we were going through their deck. But I don't think there were that many. Let's get Sorin down. I don't need land that badly. See if we plus, they can still kill it with 1 march, so we'll make the token here.
You deal with this annoyance.
Okay, Hullbreaker mana acquired. Big Skyfairy Relic. That is an interesting choice. Have not seen that one outside the Brawl queue in quite some time. I guess they want to be able to protect their Hullbreaker, so they need more mana to do so. Pay 6 for a Farewell. I guess we can exile all their artifacts, that's not bad. We are gaining back some life here off the Vampire token.
Very well.
I think I am just gonna get rid of their artifacts here. My graveyard is more valuable than theirs at the moment. So, yeah, just exile those artifacts, please. Love to see it. Alright, looks like they want to play their Hullbreaker. Nice land drop.
Dire times call for dire tactics.
We can kill it if they do, and then flash in ours. Though I'm fairly confident they're going to, so let's go ahead and play the Professor here. And we still have Power Word Kill plus Siphon available, plus a blocker for the Hullbreaker. Do I want Necrotic Fumes? Guess I'd rather take Reduce, right? It's a more general answer. Plus that encourages them to play out their Hullbreaker. They can march to save it here, but then they have to recast it. Or no, they can actually march to send the Power Word Kill back to their hand. Yeah. That one's fine. Meat hooks for 3. Do they want to bounce my Sorin or attack it down? Attack it down, sure. See if we can find another way to get this thing off the board.
Balance may never be restored now.
That works. So we do the reduce first, then they do whatever, then we grasp. As long as this last card in their hand is not 1 mana, we're fine. Galvanic Iteration. Alright, die. We can still cast Siphon Insight this turn. They really want a Galvanic Iteration their Invoke Despair, I guess. That is ambitious, to say the least. Now we should be able to run away with things. Just take a land here. Don't need to copy any of my spells for them to be good. Now we can slam our Hellbreaker. With Jwari up to protect it. Okay, -1 power word kill. Now we can play it again with Siphon to protect it. And we untap. And we get a second one, should be GG. And it is. Good stuff. Yeah, pretty much any hand that can cast a Professor on 2 is good. This one also has plenty of removal to back it up. Play the beach on 1, and then this on black on 2. Have either Professor or Verse open. If Markov here would like to get started, that is. There we go. Mono blue, eh? Well, this efficient spot removal should be decent there. And I think we have to play at flash speed here. Gonna get the Professor down. But we just need to try and 1-for-1 their threats. There goes a Jwari. Let's see, Vanishing Verse can hit 3 drops more easily. Let's try this. Phase it out, sure. In that case, we can get our Professor down through any fear of Jwari. I think we just take Sciences here. Every couple points of life could matter when they're taking us down like that. This also forces them to pump it. I think I want them to put their mana into that. But we can wait until it's more damage. Professor can theoretically block bigger things. So I can just Sciences here for Plains, then try and Vanishing Verse, I think is the play for this turn. Do it before we draw our 2 basics left. Try and make them use mana on this turn cycle with the Vanishing Verse. Probably stop them from attacking here. Maybe they just have a counterspell. Sure. think I'll take 2. Let's try again. Guess I should play my land first. They could be playing the Spirit counterspell that makes you pay 3. They march and exile a blue card. Sure. They are not killing us very quickly here, and that is a lot of cards. Let's see. We need another... We need to level this 2 more times to start drawing cards with it, so I think we're chilling. We can Siphon here, or we can play the other Professor, threaten to double block. Seems good. Though this doesn't come back until next turn. It doesn't quite work. But, alright. Take a Reduce. Can double block next turn. March is some nice instant speed interaction. Question is, do I go for the Reduce here? 3-2 is not much worse than the 2-3 at the moment. And we do have the answers with March. I think we're chilling. We can March for 3 and still Siphon. Fading Hope, so now their tempo is entirely gone. Fine by me. And they scry to the top there, so let's just clear that and make sure this resolves. They could be playing Test of Talents. Unsummon's pretty good against their Ascendant Spirit here. And we have 6 lands, don't really need another. Is a 1-mana way to undo all their leveling. Send it back to square one. Yeah, get out of here. Oh no, blue. I do not believe this hand is capable of finding more lands, so we're going to send it back. This one has a Professor and a Siphon if we find a blue source, so we'll take it. I think we'll send back the Kotosei. Yeah, that should be fine. I want this on black when I cast the Professor, so start on a Ganjo, even if it could be a good spell. Alright, punished by drawing the other pathway. That's fine. Professor, as I mentioned, overperforming, can trade with this Usher just fine. Even if they have an Aspirant here. Still holds back this attack, gives us time to keep setting up. So you don't want a Sciences or a Siphon, probably just Sciences, right? Yeah. Keep the defenses up. There's the Skyclave app. A little annoying. Flash in this Emperor next turn, of course. And opponent has to go. Alright. See ya. Yeah, that seems fine. Into a Cave of the Frost Dragon, I think I want to have Vanishing Verse available on 2. So I'm not going to play my blue source to have Siphon available on 2. Alright, beautiful. Happy to verse that. have seen Sajiri Shelter running around, so I'm just going to do it now. I don't want to get blown out by some sort of protection spell. Opponent playing white lands means we could hit the second white source off of this Siphon, which would be great. No plays. Okay, like to see that. Alright, Brutal Cathar, no targets. I think we're in a good spot here. Oh, they're on Naya. I think we take the land regardless. Redain doesn't do that much for us. So here we can Deluge, or we can Professor into Sciences. Professor blocks this Cathar, which is pretty good, and incentivizes them to play another one, which is also pretty good to me. So we get Sciences here to find our other white lands. Play this out, make them wonder what this card is. We'll need double blue anyway, so good to get that down here. Alright, there's another Brutal Cathar, sure. See, I don't really want to let them flip these, because then they're harder to target with my Emperor. Does this just play Katos out as the 4/4? Sounds kind of weird. Or we could just play One Ring Emperor, exile this one, and then they attack down the One Ring Emperor. Not ideal. But then we can Katos when they have something in the graveyard to get, at least. Alright.
Feel the energy of battle, then guide it. You are not much of a roadblock.
Could have made the token there to try and block, but I have a feeling the Emperor would die anyway. Alright, that Exiles doesn't go to the graveyard. Katos thing doesn't work. Still think we're playing that here. So as a 4/4, it just blocks their board pretty effectively. Then next turn we have Hullbreakers. Sure. This is my 4/4. There are many like it. This one is mine. See if they have the third Brutal Cathar. But even if they do, they can't attack through here because it is nighttime. So they're just going to attack through with the cave. Sure. Not great for our opponent here. So we could get the Hullbreaker down here, or we could Meat Hook for 3. Get our Professor back. I think we can get a bit more value out of this Meat Hook, though. So let's just go with the Hullbreaker. They can keep hitting me with the Cave of the Frost Dragon for a little while. We're chilling. Find a green source, so now they can play the partners they've been stuck in their hand. Alright, Spellbinder, so we gotta play this so it doesn't cost 2 more. Probably looking for spot removal to tag the partners that they're going to play next. We can still Meat Hook for 3, even if they tag it with the Spellbinder here, so I think we're done. Snakeskin Veil puts that to a 4. It'll flip today, make it a 3. So we can still Meat Hook. Yep, go for it. And they do not have any more green. So I don't think I have to Meat Hook for 4 here. Right, what are they playing in white-red that's going to increase their power and toughness? Not any constructed playable cards, right? So I get to keep my 4/4 here. Yeah. Get back Hellbreaker, get back Professor. Let's see, do any of these deal with the creature lands? Not really. Guess we'll just take... I guess we can get Confront the Past, bring back the Wanderer, which is pretty good. And then she can hit the... Give the Frost Dragon. And yeah, that'll do it. GG. Alright, Partners Avatar. See if they are also playing Partners. Professor on 2. Easy keep. Need double white for the Emperor, so put that down. Get some sciences. Ranger class could be Partners, could be something else. Could be enchantments, I mean. See, I think I want to hold open white here, because we can march their token. So we'll play this, go get a second blue source for the Deluge. The 2/2 also can't attack into the Professor unless they do this. Definitely should have marched their token in response there. Because now they have mana for Snakeskin Veil. Sure. Might just not think it's worth it to protect their 2/2 token. Alright, don't see any red yet. They probably don't have haste. So we're safe to attack with our Professor. The Lair of the Hydra holds priority, so they might not have anything. We have Emperor or Deluge, or Siphon, or Vanishing Verse, or March. All sorts of beautiful options here. Alright, they have no mana here, so we can get the Wandering Emperor down, and then we can march their Ranger class next turn. They don't get 2 cast-ins off the top.
I'm not overconfident.
Big body.
You're just let your blade do
Make
the
it
talk.
bigger. You want land, though.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Do I let them have 1 turn with the Ranger class in order to find some lands? I think that's fine. How much damage can they really do? We have sweepers to clean up, even if they do get good stuff. Control decks don't want to miss lands. Alright, am I taking 2 lands here, or land plus sweeper? Guess we have the meat hook, so we can just take 2 lands. We still have March open, because March is incredible. Felidar Retreat. Alright, kind of big. Land... token. Sure. Am I marching this token? Probably not. Might march their Felidar Retreat. Do I want to just keep making this Vigilance token bigger? Probably. Vigilance is kind of cracked. I'm fine trading this Professor for their 2/2.
Remember your training.
The question is, which am I more afraid of? Their Felidar Retreat or their Ranger class? Well, if they're playing cards like Felidar Retreat, then they're not playing that many creatures to play off the top with their Ranger class. Although, if I hit the Ranger class, then I can still... oh, I can just Vanishing Verse the Felidar Retreat. Yeah, I don't need to spend that much mana to do that. In fact, I think I just want to do both of those now. Get this out. Forget how good Vanishing Verse is sometimes. And get this out. Nice permanence there, opponent. Here go. Be a shame if something were to happen to them. Lotus Cobra, kind of whatever. Double Lotus Cobra. Spooky. My land, 4 mana open. Do you have a chariot? No. Ranger class. This looks like a pretty easy meat hook for 2. Siphon. Don't make another body. Keep making this one bigger. Let's make another one. It might have single target removal of some fashion.
Keep watch for intruders.
Cultivator Colossus. 1 card in hand. Let's see what they can do. Got 1. 1 it is. Sure. Siphon. That's trample, right? Lotus Cobra not terribly relevant. I'll take the land. See. Do I have the resources to do 8 to that? Yes, I do, if I exile the meat hook from my hand. And then we have lethal. And we got him. 4 plus 3 makes 7.
The end of this fight.
This is so good. Alright, and back to go over the deck. Not sure there's that much to say here. This felt really sweet. Professor is fantastic in the current meta, in my opinion. If you're playing white that's not super aggro, you should be playing Professors. If you're in best of 1, of course. The Marches felt really good here. I'd be surprised if they're not included in most control decks from here until they rotate. Siphon did plenty of work. It's really mostly for the control mirrors, but does fine if not just letting you hit those land drops. 7 sweepers seemed reasonable. I think we have the tools to take on pretty much every deck that is in the format right now. I'm running 25 lands just to clear that up, plus 2 Jwaris, so shouldn't have that much trouble missing lands, plus we have the Professors and Siphons to help with that. Yeah, that was it. Katose did the job in 2 matches there. Sometimes a 4/4 is all you need against aggro, and got rid of the Invoke Despairs against that control deck game in the first game, which was absolutely devastating. Taking 2 of them out of their hands was really awesome. Planeswalkers are good. I don't think we cast a Sorin there, but I think Sorin's great. Played this deck a couple times off of the video as well. Wandering Emperor was fantastic, being a threat that also is removal that gains life and at flash speed. Just great. Farewell did the job. Vanishing Verse also fine there. Hit Felidar Retreat. Hits a lot of there's a lot of permanence in the meta right now. You gotta get them. Vanishing Verse does that pretty well. Yeah, thanks for watching.